Rally phase of the Americans' sixth turn. Before we begin this turn, let's correct a mistake that happened at the end of the fifth turn, which was the elimination of the Japanese units during the close combat phase. These units should have benefited from the infiltration rule and could have withdrawn from the close combat without being attacked by the Americans, and they returned to the board. Changes in wind. 8. No changes in wind. Attempt to recover the morale of the squad with the leader 8-1 with the modifiers of +4, gain, -1, leader, -1, building. Nine +2, 11, the morale is not recovered. Prep fire phase. Let's proceed with Americans of board artillery. Type of OBA, normal. Radio contact is okay. FFE2 in on board. The FFE2 will not be cancelled. The observer has lost to base level of FFE2 hex. FFE2 don't need correction. Resolve FFE2 and flip it to FFE-C. Initially, we will verify the effect of the artillery over the structure's effect. No structure is affected. Attack against the Japanese stack in hex N37 with 16 firepower +5. 6 +5, 11, pin test check. The Japanese leaders are not affected by pin results, only in rare situations. The unit 1 to 7 is the only one that becomes pinned. Attack against Japanese stack in N35 hex with 16 firepower +5. 9 +5, 14, without effect. Movement phase. Squad on the beached raft moves to the power plant, expending all its movement factors, becoming CX to MF for elevation and to MF to get into the building. Stack with leader 80 moves to hex L37. Squad with the bazooka moves to hex L37. Squad with leader 70 moves to hex N39. Squad 666 moves towards the boiler room. In the hex O39, it will suffer an attack from half crew. This shot can't be fired because the Japanese unit doesn't have line of sight to the Americans and they can proceed to the boiler room. Squad with demolition charge goes to O39 hex. Half squad moves to coal pile. In this hex is attacked by the Japanese stack in hex N37 with 12 firepower +1, hex with debris +1, coal pile +1, overstacking -1, FFNAM. 12. No effect and a machine gun to be randomly chosen will become malfunctioning. 2 machine guns will become malfunctioning. The half squad will try to repossess the heavy machine gun. 6 without success. Raft with squad beached in J40. Another raft beached in Hex Q39. Assault boat traverses the Esteros de Provisor and becomes beached in the Hex with the trench. The other assault boat becomes beached in the same Hex. The last raft advances to Hexes. Defensive fire phase. No actions. Advancing fire phase. No actions. Rout phase. No actions. Advance phase. American stack with leader 80 will effect a dangerous MV and advance to a location adjacent to the Japanese units in the boiler room. The units beached move inland. Stack with leader 70 advances to the boiler room. Leader 70 remains in power plant. Squad from O39 to the power plant. We forget to verify the flame becoming blaze in the rubble terrain. The base number for a flame becoming blaze is equal or superior to the terrain spreading number. This a wooden rubble terrain has a spreading number equal or superior to 8. The environment condition is moist with the modifier of -1. 6 - 1, 5, blaze is not created. Close combat phase. No close combat and the pin marker is removed. Rally phase Japanese 6th turn. Changes in the wind. 5 without changes in the wind. Attempt to rally the American squad morale with the leader 8 - 1. 9 - 2, 7, the Americans recover morale. Attempt to recovers the functioning of one light machine gun. 6. The machine gun is eliminated. Attempt to recovers the functioning of the second light machine gun. 5. The AMG persists malfunctioning. American half squad try to repossess the medium machine gun. 5. The half squad takes possession of MMG. Prep fire phase. At this moment, the Americans stack at Hex M36 will certainly the worst attack in the game. The flamethrower will attack this stack with a huge 24 firepower without modifiers. 5. K/41 unit will suffers a casualty reduction to be chosen randomly, followed by 4 morale check. The squad 666 is chosen and becomes 346 half squad. 10 + 4, 12, the American leader break below the ELR. 6 + 4, 10, the squad breaks. 11 + 4, 15, The half squad breaks above ELR and becomes to 3-6 second class. Attack by the Japanese stack against the Americans' units in the boiler room. This fire will occur with 14 firepower doubled to 28, 24 firepower point blank fire with +3 modifier, stone building. 5 + 3, 8 to morale check. The machine guns lose the rate of fire. Six plus 2, 8. The first squad has its morale broken. Two plus 2, 4. The second squad passes and will suffers the effect of the heat of battle. 7. The squad will be battle hardened and becomes 6-6-7. Movement phase. No actions. Defensive fire phase. The Americans will try to activate the off-board artillery. The type of OBE is normal. The radio contact is maintained. There is no SR or FFE to counter on board. Chit draw. Red. The artillery will not be activated and the FFE C counter is removed. Attack from the American squad over the Japanese stack at the boiler room. This fire will occur with 12 firepower +3 stone building. Three plus 3, 6 to morale check. 8 plus 2, 10. The leader 8-0 is wounded and becomes 7 plus 1. Evaluation of wound severity. 1. The wound is not fatal. 4 plus 2, 6. The second leader passes. 7 plus 2, 9. First half squad breaks. 5 plus 2, 7. The half crew passes. Jim considers this unit spinned, but Japanese, unaccompanied by a leader, has its morale increased by 1 point. 11 plus 2, 13. The second half squad breaks above the ELR and suffers a casualty reduction, becoming 1-6 conscript. 10 plus 2, 12. Third half squad breaks above ELR and also becomes 1-6 conscript. 9 plus 2, 11. The crew becomes half crew. Four plus 2, 6. The squad passes. Advancing fire phase. No actions. Rot phase. American stack moves to K36 via under shell hole in L36. American squad from boiler room to power plant. Japanese units with broken morale from N37 to N36. The DM marker is removed. There is a Japanese leader in this hex. Advance phase. No actions. Close combat phase. No actions. The pin marker is removed. Rally phase American 7th turn. Changes in the wind. 11. The rain begins to pour in and mist forms, adding 1 point to attacks made more than 7 hexes away. Environmental conditions will become wet for the remainder of the scenario, and most importantly, during and after rain, all ground units must expend 1 extra MF or MP per elevation level change up-down unless using a stairwell or paved road. Attempt to recover morale of American units with the leader 7-0. The modifier will be +4, DAIM, -1, building. Six plus 3, 9, the squad doesn't recover morale. 2. The half squad recovers morale and will suffer the effects of heat of battle without modifiers. 9. This half squad becomes berserk. In this case, as there is no known enemy unit in its line of sight, the result is changed to battle hardening and will become a 3-4-7 elite half squad. Attempt auto-rallying the leader 8-0 with modifiers +4, DAIM, +1, auto-rally, -1, building. 7 plus 4, 11, the leader doesn't recover morale. Attempt recovering morale of Japanese units with leader 9-0. This unit's got 1 extra point in morale, leader presence in hex, and the modifier will be -1, building. 7 -1, 6, the first unit should have recovered its morale. 8 -1, 7, the second unit doesn't recover morale and is eliminated. 7 -1, 6, the half squad recovers morale. Illegal attempt to repossess light machine gun by Japanese half squad that has just recovered morale. 2. Half squad illegally repossesses LMG. Trying to regain LMG function. 4. LMG maintains its malfunctioning status. Leader Japanese 9-0 will TY to possess LMG. 6. Unsuccessful. Prep fire phase. Initially, let's correct the berserk half squad situation. This half squad has no known enemy unit in its line of sight, and it will change the status to battle hardening, half squad 3-4-7. Let's do the proceedings for American OBA. Type of OBA is normal. Radio contact is maintained. No SR or FFE to markers on board. Black chit drawn. No FFE C on board. Artillery request marker on board. Observer has line of sight to AR location. There are known enemy units in AR's hex. The AR hex is not registered. Place SR marker and make accuracy DR. One, the fire is accurate, and the actions related to OBA are finished in this turn. Movement phase. Squad 667 to the hex with debris. In this hex it'll suffer an attack from the Japanese stack with 12 firepower plus 1, debris minus 1, FFNAM. Five, to morale check, and the MMG loses rate of fire. 9 plus 2, 11. The American squad breaks, and a 6 residual fire is placed on the attacked hex. Half squad with medium machine gun advances under shell hole marker. In this hex will suffer an attack from the Japanese stack with leader 90 with 12 firepower and modifiers plus 1, shell hole, minus 1, FFNAM. 4. 3 morale check, and the machine gun maintains rate of fire. 4 plus 3, 7, the half squad breaks. Squad 666 with the demolition charge expend to movement factors and place EDC in adjacent hex with Japanese stack. It suffers a subsequent first fire from the Japanese stack with 4 firepower, halved subsequent first fire, doubled point blank fire, plus 3, stone building. The firepower from MMG will not be used in this attack cause its cover arc is not aligned with American squad. 8 plus 3, 11, unsuccessful. New attack with final protective fire with 4 firepower plus 3. 3 plus 3, 6, normal morale check and a possible activation of American sniper. 8. American squad breaks and the demolition charge is not considered as placed. 6. American sniper not activated. Squad from J40 to L37. Squad from Q39 to O38. In this hex they are attacked by a subsequent first fire from the Japanese stack with 2 firepower plus 1, debris. 9 plus 1, 10, unsuccessful. 1 residual fire is placed over this hex. 2 squads from boiler room to O38 in assault movement. In this hex they will suffer an attack by the residual firepower of 1. 4. Normal morale check. 10. The first squad has its morale broken. 7. The second squad also has the morale broken. The Americans had already moved the leader 8-1 to the boiler room at the leader 70 towards the stack of American units with morale broken in hex K36. Defensive fire phase. No actions and the residual fire markers are removed. Advancing fire phase. No actions. Rout phase. O36 to P39. Both squads with broken morale from O38 to the boiler room paying an overstacking penalty for 1 squad equivalent in the case of the second squad. Squad from the power plant to the boiler room paying a penalty expending to movement factors as overstacking penalty. Finally, squad from O37 to the boiler room expending 3 movement factors as overstacking penalty. Dice roll to verify the transformation from flame to blaze with modifier of -2, environment conditions. 6 -2, 4, the flame persists. Advance phase. Squad to the boiler room. Half squad with demolition charge to the boiler room. L37 to M36. Close combat phase. No actions. Rally phase of Japanese 7th turn. Changes in wind. 7. No wind change. Attempt to recover the morale of American leader with the modifier of -1, building. 8 -1, 7, leader recovers morale. Attempt to recover morale of the squad with demolition charge with minus modifier, building. 8 -1, 7, squad recovers morale. Attempt to recover morale of half squad with bazooka with modifier of -1, building. 8 -1, 7, half squad does not recover morale. Attempt to recover the morale of the American units with leader 8 -1. In this hex there are 5 squads, 4 under DA marker and 1 without it. For the unit without the DA marker the modifier will be -2, leader, building, and a modifier of +2 for the units under the DA marker. Beginning with the squad without the DA marker. 9 -2, 7, this squad recover melee. 8 +2, 10, this con squad doesn't recover morale. 6 +2, 8, third squad recovers morale. 10 +2, 12, fourth squad doesn't recover morale. 3 +2, 5, fifth squad recovers morale. The Japanese will recombine 2 of their half crew with the medium machine gun. Attempt to recover the function of light machine gun. 3. The function is not recovered. Prep fire phase. Japanese stack with leader wounded will attack the Americans in adjacent hex with 12 firepower +3, stone building. Seven +3, 10, pin test check and the machine gun loses rate of fire. The half squad becomes pinned. 7. Squad also becomes pinned. Attack from the stack with leader 9-0 against American squad with 12 firepower +3, stone building. 4 +3, 7, 1 morale check and light machine gun maintains rate of fire. 9 +1, 10, the American squad breaks. Movement phase. Japanese leader 7 +1 to first level of N36. Defensive fire phase. Squad and half squad pinned will fire against the Japanese squad with 8 firepower plus 3 stone building. Double 2, the units suffer covering and the results will be analyzed in the 6 firepower column. 4 plus 3, 7, normal morale check with possible Japanese sniper activation. 5, leader passes. 4, crew passes. 8, squad suffers casualty reduction and becomes half squad. Let's access the American OBA. The OB is normal. The radio contact is maintained. SR marker on board. We will not cancel spotting round, SR. Observer has lost to blast height, presumably yes. Americans don't want to correct the SR. Americans will convert the SR in place. The observer has lost to the base level of SR hex. All enemy units are known to the observer. Convert to FFE, 1 resolve and replace with FFE, 2. At this point Jim perceives that he has been committing an error all this scenario. He was treating these OBAs by the bombardment rules, C1.8, which mandates a normal morale check on the structures on all the hexes attacked. This rule does not apply in the current case, and the only way for the structures to be affected is by a kill in action result. Attack against Hex N36 with 16 firepower plus 4 for the leader on the first level and plus 5 for the stack on ground level. (11) Without success. Attack against Japanese stack with 16 firepower plus 5, fortification and 1 level above. (3 plus 3, 6, to morale check. (7 plus 2, 9, Japanese leader passes, Japanese leaders doesn't pin. (6 plus 2, 8, crew passes. (10 plus 2, 12, the squad suffers casualty reduction and breaks above the ELR becoming half squad to 3-6. Attack against American squad with broken morale with modifier plus 3, stone building. 8 plus 3, 11, pin test check, and as the squad is already broken, this effect doesn't matter. Advancing fire phase. No actions. Rout phase. American squad moves to K36. Advance phase. Japanese leader wounded and medium machine gun moves to N35. Close combat phase. No actions. Rally phase. American 8th turn. Wind changes. (7) No changes in wind. Attempt to rally Americans units with leader 80. The modifiers will be +4, DN, -1, building, for the squad. 8 plus 3, 11, the squad doesn't recover morale. Attempt to recovers the morale of the half squad with bazooka with -1 modifier, building. 7 minus 1, 6, half squad recovers morale. Japanese half squad will abandon the broken machine gun and will try to repossess the light machine gun. 4. The LMG is repossessed. American half squad with MMG will try to auto-rally with the modifiers +1, auto-rally, -1, building. 6. The half squad recovers morale. Attempt to rally the Americans squads with leader 8-1 with the modifier -1, building, -1, leader. 11-2, 9, first squad doesn't recover morale. 9-2, 7, second squad recovers morale. Prep fire phase. This time the Americans will not use the OBA artillery. Squad 666 fire against the Japanese in adjacent hex with 12 firepower +3, stone building. 4 plus 3, 7, 1 morale check. Double 1 plus 1, 3. The half squad passes and will suffer the effects of heat of battle. The Japanese will receive a +4 modifier. 8 plus 4, 12. In the case of other nationalities, this squad would surrender, but in the case of the Japanese, it will become berserk. Movement phase. Half squad tries to place demolition charge in the hex with berserk half squad. With this action it suffers an attack from the Japanese with 4 firepower +3, stone building. 7 plus 3, 10, without success, and the machine gun maintains the rate of fire. New attack with 4 firepower +3. 5 plus 3, 8, unsuccessful, but Jim considers it a pin test check with the possible activation of the American sniper. The machine gun loses rate of fire. 10. The half squad becomes pinned and the charge is not considered as placed. Half squad with MMG will move to hex with debris. American stack with leader 80 moves to the hex adjacent to the Japanese. In this hex suffers an attack from the Japanese stack with 20 firepower +3, stone building, -1, FFNAM. (11 plus 2, 13), unsuccessful, and the machine guns lose rate of fire. Subsequent first fire with 8 firepower +2. 8 plus 2, 10, unsuccessful. Attack with the flamethrower with 24 firepower without modifiers. 7. 3 morale check. Three plus 3, 6, the leader passes. 7 plus 3, 10, the squad breaks. 10 plus 3, 13, the half squad breaks above ELR and became 2 to 6 green. Stack with leader 8 minus 1 with 3 squads from the boiler room to under the shell hole. The Japanese opt to not attack this stack. Squad from the boiler room to the hex with debris. In this hex suffers a protective final fire attack with the intrinsic firepower from the Japanese half squad with 4 firepower plus 1, debris, minus 1, FFNAM. Seven, pin test check and the Japanese half squad becomes pinned. The berserk units never become pinned. 9. American squad becomes pinned. Raft beached expending 1 movement point and its squad moves to 2K37. This squad could only use 2 movement factors as it expended 2 movement factors when the raft moves 1 hex. Defensive fire phase. No actions. Advancing fire phase. American stack shot the Japanese stack at fortress with 12 firepower doubled to 24, point blank fire, plus 4, fortification, minus 1, leader. Eight plus 3, 11, 1 morale check. Five plus 1, 6, leader passes, and there is the possible activation of American sniper. 5 plus 1, 6, half squad with light machine gun also passes, and there is the possible activation of American sniper. 11 plus 1, 12, wounded Japanese leader is wounded again and will suffer a dice roll to access the severity of this wound. 2. Leader passes the wound severity, survives and becomes 8 plus 1 leader. 10 plus 1, 11, reduced crew becomes half crew. 7 plus 1, 8, the squad passes, Jim considered it as pinned. Fire group formed by American units in hexes N38 and O37 with 20 firepower plus 4, fortification. Double 2, 4, plus 4, 8. The units cover and this attack will occur at 16 firepower column, 1 morale check. Double 1, the berserk half squad is not affected. Five, American sniper is not activated. Rout phase. American units with broken morale move to K36. Advance phase. Squad 666, Half Squad 346 advance to Hex occupied by Berserk Japanese Half Squad entering in close combat. American stack with 3 squads and leader 8-1 moves to the Hex with Japanese stack entering in close combat. American leader 8-0 moves to the Hex with the Berserk Japanese unit. Before the close combat, some corrections are necessary. The Japanese Berserk half squad can't be pinned and its marker is removed. The Japanese leader 9-0 that was wounded becomes 8+1. The Japanese 448 squad that Jim considered pinned is not so. Beginning with the units engaged in close combat in Hex N36. Let's verify if ambush occurs. The Americans will get the modifier of -1, leader. The Japanese will get the modifier of +1, leader 8+1, -1, stealthy. Americans 1-1, 0, Japanese 5, the Japanese are ambushed. Americans will attack with 19 against Japanese 8 with a ratio of 2:1. As the Americans will apply the hand-to-hand rules, they need 9 or less to affect the Japanese with the modifier of -2, leader and ambush. (5-2, 3), the Japanese are eliminated. Units in close combat in Hex N38. Ambush, the Americans will not get modifiers, the Japanese will get a +1 modifier, lax, -1 modifier, stealthy. (4) There is no ambush. The Americans will attack with a force of 10 against 2 of the Japanese with a ratio of 5:1, 4:1 in this case, requiring 11 or less to affect the Japanese hand-to-hand combat. The Japanese will attack the American half squad with a ratio of 1 to requiring 6 or less to affect the Americans. Americans 10, the Japanese half squad is eliminated. Japanese 8, the Americans are not affected. With this last act, the Americans win this battle and conquer this important position. With this victory, the Americans now have 2 wins compared to only 1 for the Japanese in the battles of the Sword and Fire Module, Manila. With this, let's move away a bit from these final months of the Second World War and change scenery completely from the unbearable heat of this tropical environment and move to the extreme winter of the Soviet steppe, more specifically, during the Soviet counterattack that occurred in January 1941, which very nearly crushed the German units near Moscow. Our next battle will use a scenario from the module released in 2011 by the producer Le Frank Tyrer, Kampfgruppensteher. The theme of this module is the siege of German units in the town of Cholm, or Kholm, in German nomenclature, during the Soviet counterattack in the winter of 1941-42, where German units were victims of a siege that lasted 105 days between February and May 1942. During this period, the German forces received their few supplies and reinforcements by air and were constantly harassed by Soviet infantry and artillery attacks. The map, especially the winter map, yes, there is a map for spring, is exquisite, a real feast for the eyes. Well friends, with this Jim says goodbye and hopes to see you in the next installment. Stay well, Namaste.